Okay, so the next screencast we're going to take you through is all to do with adult market segmentation, which is used by Sport England. So as you can see, the slides will take you through why the tool was developed, how you can access it, and what we call the pen portrait, and how you can apply information within this to your either assessment, or if you're looking to develop sport physical activity for a certain age group that is to do with adults. So in terms of the key messages, these are portrayed here in the text, and it's all about how you can understand your market more effectively. Okay, and using what we call the Sport England market segmentation work of the pen portraits, this tool will help you to empower other users, and that you can also add to local intelligence. So things like the ward profiles that you're looking through, the information from Public Health England, etc. So you can use this additionally. What we're trying to get you to think about is that you should be utilising information that is based on evidence that can help you as a sport development practitioner embed sport physical activity into the local community. And it's not just based on what you think should be done for that target group. Okay, so don't just sort of pull a number out of thin air, put a pin in a drawing board and think you know the information. You've got to go out there and find evidence to underpin your work. Okay, so the in terms of sport market segmentation, Kim has covered a little bit of this in previous seminars, but you need to be thinking about how you can think about using all these different ingredients within within your research. So thinking about gender, thinking about location, and where you will take your activities will take place. So the place of the marketing mix, what sporting activity, so the product, what do they want to do with that? Who's it for, age range, where are they in their life stage? Okay, what's their demographics, etc. How do they want to be told about where they get told about the promotion of things? So social media, leaflets, face-to-face, online, etc. So there's lots for you to think about in terms of you and developing your sport physical activity for the target group. What we're going to take you through is the Sport England market segmentation tool. So as it says here, it is free, it's online. There's various things that you can put in terms of the market segment and the location to do with where you might be looking to deliver a specific program around the country. Obviously for the assessment, this is within Sheffield. There's maps and charts and other data within this as well that you can pull out. So if you click onto the website, I'm going to flip between the Sport England website link here and back to the PowerPoint slides as well. So this is the home page. So once you go into this, you'll be able to see it a bit clearer because obviously it doesn't fit into the screencast link here. And this front page just gives you a little bit of information about what is included. Okay. So what we would want you to do is think about what data you'll be able to get from each segment. So this will be able to tell you about what sports and active recreation people like to take part in, or what they're more likely to take part in, what the barriers are and motivations towards the sport, what they would like to do more of, what would make them participate, etc. Whether they like to take part in a sports club setting, whether they want to be in a team, whether it's individually, whether they want to do it for social or competitive purpose, etc. So there's lots here within this that you'll be able to implement for your assessment and just general sport development in general. So the segments are divided into what we call 19 segments. So down here on the left is what the segments are broken into. So if you imagine an orange or a satsuma, when you pull it apart and there's different segments to it, this is what Sport England is saying for the over 18s they're broken down into. So starting with competitive male urbanites, so you might get a sense of who they might be. So scrolling down, there's something around stay-at-home mums, pub league teammates, early retirement couples, older working women, local old boys. So for your target group, for your assessment, you might be working on older adults, for example. So it says here straight away, early retirement couples, there might be something around older working women, comfortable retired couples, etc. So there's things here straight away that you can probably pick out with regards to your assessments. And what Sport England have done is given them a name. Okay, so the names, in terms of Norma, she's known as the later life ladies, etc. So, and it gives you a bit of a breakdown into the percentage of population within this age group, target group, and then break it down to male and female. Okay, so what we want you to do is go on to the segments. Okay, within the link, find a segment and then save or obviously print it, which you might be doing remotely, so you might not be able to access it. To print it off anyway. Okay, so just going to go back onto the market segmentation. So going on to the segments. So here are the 19 profiles. So if, for example, we look at Ralph and Phyllis, okay, if you hover over it, it talks to you about that they are comfortable retired couples, they are retired, they enjoy an active and comfortable lifestyle, and it gives you a breakdown of 4% of all adults and 5% of the men. Hold on, just bear with me. So if you click on the full profile, sorry, my technology, just make this a little bit bigger for you. It gives you a lot of information that, again, you can utilize for your assessment as well. So it's up to you. You've got to go through this and pick them apart. But it gives you some information here at the moment in terms of whether they're married, single, retired, etc. So again, it's down to you reading this carefully, and it's about maybe your ability to skim read and pulling out some of the information that is within this segment. So it talks to you that Ralph has been a successful banker, enabled them to retire early. So probably suggests they've got a large amount of disposable income, more so than other people in this age group as well. So that tells you what they enjoy playing. So golf, Ralph likes to compete. So there might be something in terms of your program work that you would have as competition aspects. Okay, Phyllis, the wife, occasional swimming, while Ralph goes out and trout fishes. They like to go for long walks. They like to do things together, but they've also got their own interests as well. Both enjoy volunteering, okay, and raising money. Bit about their ethnic origin, and then they give alternative names. I wouldn't look too much into the alternative names, being very stereotypical of maybe what a Beryl looks like or a Reginald, for example. Okay, it gives you. Sorry, what's going on here? It gives you their sport overview. So in terms of what they might participate sport-wise, okay, so in terms of Ralph and Phyllis compared to all adults. So it's saying that they like to keep fit and gym, but that is under what all adults want to do. So a range of swimming, golf, bowls, cycling, tennis, angling, badminton, martial arts, etc. So they are generally less active than other average adult population, but their activity levels are still higher than others in their age group as well. So it tells you about what they want to keep fit doing. It also, and this is where you need to think about pulling this together in relation to other information, such as the Public Health England profiles of where they're likely to live within England. So the Ralph and Phyllises of this world are likely to live in Stratford-upon-Avon, Chichester. Sorry, I can't see the other one there because of the Kendal, Farnham, Evesham. So you might not be aware of where some of these places are, but that is something that you will need to take additional research into, and you can quite easily link the areas from Sport England to the Public Health England profiles as well that Kim has developed a screencast for you to do as well. Okay, talks about the levels of physical activity that these target groups do a week, whether it's organised sport they'd like to take part in. Okay, and then again, apologies, it talks to you about their latent demand. So latent demand is what they would like to do more of, okay, compared to other people. So it's saying that 27% of Ralph and Phyllis of this target group would like to do more of swimming, keep fit, golf, cycling and tennis. So there might be, that's another rationale and justification as to what they would like to be doing. So you might want to incorporate this into your assessment as well. Tells you here about all to do with participation, so the motivation. That tells you about the barriers. Some of this we've gone through quite a lot within teaching. Again, if you can link this with additional references, academic literature, then you're going to be getting higher marks. It gives you some information about what else they like to do. So watching TV, seeing friends and family. They like to go out. So they like to do things out of the home. So again, lots of data here that you can compare and bring into your assessment as well. So what's going to encourage them to do more? So if they were less busy, if they had more people to go with, if they had cheaper admission. So think about that marketing mix. So cheaper admission might be to do with your price of the 7Ps. Improved transport. So how is this age group going to get to anything that you put on? Okay. It then tells you about how they'd like to be told about things in terms of promotion. So they are more responsive to newspaper ads. What we don't want to see within your assessment is that you've put an advert in the Daily Telegraph or the Times broadsheet newspapers. That is not realistic. You need to think about what might be relevant to that local area. So local newspapers, absolutely. So freebie magazines that maybe get sent through the door. They like receiving posts, so they are not really ones for social media, probably because of age range, etc. So it tells you here what they might read. Again, you won't be putting adverts in that. You don't really see that sport development practitioners using major magazines or newspapers as this. Again, TV, radio, very expensive to do, not realistic. Okay, so you need to think about locally what is going on in that area. Okay. Just something here about telephone. Their mobile phone is mainly used for emergencies and a few text messages. They are not the same as you guys as a generation in terms of constantly being on mobile phones. All right. So that's just taking you briefly through the market, the slides. Thinking out loud here. So just going back to the slides. It's up to you to start looking and researching into these segments. Okay, but as I said earlier, you can probably be quite clever in terms of thinking about your target group. So whether that's looking at women, for example. So within the women, there's single mums, there's working mums, there might be something around BME, for example. So you can think about which segments you start to look at and why. Okay, so it will tell you lots of different information as detailed on the screen here. Okay, so it's about you playing around and finding things. Okay, and these slides here just give you some additional guidance in terms of the differences maybe between male and female in terms of participation and their age range of how much sport they undertake a week. So you know what the government recommendations are for sport physical activity of 5 times 30 minutes a week. You know, are some of them doing that? Probably not, and that's more of a reason for you to include that into your assessment. What you can also do is break down your areas further. So, sorry, just move the microphone away. You can break it down to find what information about your local authority. Okay, you can find out around the active partnerships. So I've put there, for example, active partnerships used to be known as county sport partnerships. So if you typed in Yorkshire Sport Partnership, you'd be able to find additional information specifically for that area. Okay, so there's lots here that you can start to think about doing and playing around on the Sport England market segmentation tool. You can bring up maps, okay, and then if I was you, I would be relating that to Sheffield and to the area that you've selected from the ward profiles as well. So we're trying to get you to build and pull together a bit of a jigsaw with regards to your assessment as well. Okay, so as it says here, once you get onto this area, you can zoom around. Okay, you can move the mouse and it'll pull up little bits of information. So again, it's for you to find out and for you to play around on as well. If you wanted to break this down further, you could absolutely find particular sports and think about what's useful within England, okay, to find some different results. So on the left hand side here where it says about England local authority, you can break it down further. So again, if you want to develop a product that is around tennis, you can do that and it will provide you with information around who plays tennis and where within the country. Okay, you can provide graphs. Okay, I've mentioned about latent demand. So there's lots here that you can do in terms of breaking down characteristics in terms of what they want to do with regards to behavior. Okay, so absolutely up to you. It's about you playing around with these profiles as well and what information stands out to you. So hopefully I'm just going to go back onto the segments and the sport. So Again, play around with this, find out exactly what it is that you want to find as well. So any questions, drop me or Kim an email. Okay, thanks. Bye.